Prepare to rethink everything you thought you knew. This is Mind Benders, your source for the most mind-twisting facts that will expand your understanding of the world. Let's bend some minds.
The hook and the enigma. What is the most dangerous object in the world? Is it a weapon of mass destruction, a vial containing a deadly virus, or is it something far more subtle? Something that has sat silently on a library shelf for a century, guarding a secret so profound it could rewrite human history. An object that has humbled the world's greatest minds, from codebreakers who defeated the Nazis to the most advanced artificial intelligence of our time. We're talking about a book, a modest calfskin-bound volume, no bigger than a modern paperback. It has no title, no author, and it's written in a language that nobody on Earth can read. This is the story of MS-408, better known as the Voynich Manuscript. For over 600 years, this book has remained a perfect, unbroken enigma. Its pages are filled with elegant, flowing script, but the alphabet is alien. It features detailed illustrations of plants that do not exist in the botanical record, astronomical charts of constellations we cannot identify, and surreal drawings of naked figures bathing in bizarre interconnected green pools. It has been called the book that can't be read, a message from another world, and the Everest of historical cryptography. Every attempt to decipher it has ended in utter failure. But here is the most mind-bending question of all, the one that keeps scholars awake at night. What if the Voynich Manuscript isn't a code to be broken? What if its purpose is something else entirely? What if this book from the 15th century is a message, but not for us? The first clues emerge. To begin our journey into this abyss of mystery, we must travel back to 1912. A Polish-American rare book dealer named Wilfrid Voynich is exploring a chest of ancient texts at the Villa Mondragone, a Jesuit college near Rome. Tucked away at the bottom, he finds a strange, unassuming codex. He immediately recognizes it as unique. The script is unlike anything he has ever seen. Voynich became obsessed. He dedicated the rest of his life to solving its puzzle, but died without deciphering a single word. He did, however, uncover a tantalizing clue. A letter tucked within the pages dated 1665. It revealed the book once belonged to the court of Holy Roman Emperor Rudolph II in Prague, a monarch fascinated with alchemy and the occult. The letter stated the emperor paid 600 gold ducats for it, a fortune, believing it was the lost work of the legendary 13th century philosopher Roger Bacon. This clue only deepened the mystery. Was it truly the work of Bacon, a man centuries ahead of his time? Or was it a forgery, created to swindle a gullible emperor? The first breakthrough came not from a historian, but from a physicist. In the late 20th century, carbon-14 dating was performed on the vellum pages. The result was a shock. The calfskin was harvested between 1404 and 1438. This proved it was not a modern forgery by Voynich himself, and it was created long after Roger Bacon had died. The book was a genuine artifact of the early Renaissance. With its authenticity confirmed, the world's best codebreakers descended upon it. William and Elizabeth Friedman, the legendary couple who ran America's first government cryptography unit, spent decades on it and gave up, concluding it must be an invented artificial language. During the Cold War, the NSA's top analysts, armed with the most powerful computers of the day, tried and failed. They called it a unique and baffling ciphertext. Even the codebreakers of Bletchley Park, the geniuses who cracked the German Enigma machine and shortened World War II, were rumored to have taken a shot. Their conclusion? Silence. Absolute, frustrating silence. But why is it so difficult? The manuscript is divided into 6 distinct sections. The first and largest is the botanical section. It contains over 100 drawings of plants, but here's the problem. Almost none of them have ever been identified. They appear to be chimeras, composite plants made of roots, leaves, and flowers from different unrelated species. Then there is the astronomical and astrological section. It contains circular diagrams, suns and moons with human faces, and intricate charts that resemble zodiacs. But again, the constellations are unrecognizable. The patterns don't match the sky as we know it, either from the 15th century or today. Perhaps most disturbing is the balneological section. It depicts dozens of small, naked women, most with oddly swollen abdomens, bathing and interacting with a network of strange, organ-like tubes and vessels. They seem to be part of a bizarre biological or alchemical process, flowing through pipes filled with a mysterious green liquid. Finally, there are the pharmaceutical and recipe sections, with drawings of plant parts next to jars and what appear to be instructions written in the endless, looping, unreadable text. Every page offers a clue that leads only to a deeper question. It's a book of science, but a science we don't recognize.
Deepening the paradox. For decades, the leading theory was that the manuscript was an elaborate hoax, a gibberish text created by a clever con artist to sell to a wealthy patron. It's an easy answer, it's a comforting answer, and it's almost certainly wrong. The reason lies in a fascinating field of study, linguistics and information theory. In the 1940s, a Harvard linguist named George Kingsley Ziff discovered a universal law that applies to all human languages, from English to Mandarin. It's called Zipp's law. In simple terms, it states that the most frequently used word in any language will appear about twice as often as the second most frequent word, 3 times as often as the third, and so on. It's a perfect, predictable statistical curve. If you type random letters on a keyboard, the result will not follow Zipp's law. It will be statistically flat, a meaningless jumble. But when computer scientists applied this test to the Voynich Manuscript, they were stunned. The text of MS-408 follows Zipp's law almost perfectly. This changes everything. It means the Voynich script isn't just random gibberish. It has the structure, the syntax, and the statistical signature of a genuine functional language. Furthermore, it displays other linguistic properties. Certain letters appear more often at the beginning of words, others in the middle or at the end, just like in real languages. There is an internal logic to it. So, we are faced with a profound paradox. We have a book written in what appears to be a real, structured language, yet it's a language that has no other record of existence and has resisted every form of decryption. We have scientifically accurate botanical drawings of plants that have never existed. We have complex astronomical charts of a sky we have never seen. This paradox has shattered dozens of theories. If it's a simple substitution cipher, where each symbol represents a letter of a known language, it would have been solved centuries ago. If it's a more complex code, like a polyalphabetic cipher, it still should have shown vulnerabilities to modern computational analysis. It hasn't. Could it be a lost natural language? Perhaps the last surviving text of a vanished European or Asian people? Some linguists have tried to link it to Proto-Romance languages, or even lost dialects from Central Asia. But no proposed link has ever held up to scrutiny. The vocabulary and grammar seem to have no parent and no children. It's a linguistic orphan. This is the true nature of the Voynich enigma. It's not just an unreadable book. It's a collection of impossible contradictions, a scientific ghost. It obeys the rules of language, but communicates nothing. It illustrates the natural world, but a world that is alien to our own. It's a perfectly constructed key for a lock that may not exist. The promised payoff. For a century, investigators have been attacking the problem from the wrong angle. They have been trying to answer the question, what does the manuscript say? Every theory, a cipher, a lost language, a hoax, starts with the assumption that the text itself is the primary layer of information. But this has led to a dead end. Each theory can explain one part of the puzzle, but fails to explain the others. A hoax explains the strange plants, but not the complex linguistics. A lost language explains the text structure, but not the bizarre, unidentifiable illustrations.
A cipher explains the secrecy, but not why such an unbreakable code would be used for what appears to be a simple herbal manual. The contradictions remain. But in recent years, a new generation of researchers, armed with machine learning and a willingness to think outside the box, have started asking a different question, a more powerful question. What is the manuscript doing? This shift in perspective is everything. It reframes the manuscript not as a passive document to be read, but as an active piece of technology, a device designed with a specific function in mind. To understand this, we need to stop thinking like 15th century scribes and start thinking like 21st century data scientists. The clues have been there all along, hidden in plain sight. The structured language that isn't a language. The scientific drawings that aren't of our science. It's time to put the pieces together. The solution we are about to explore is not one single simple answer. It is a multi-layered hypothesis that, for the first time, accounts for all the paradoxes. Stay with us, because the truth about the Voynich manuscript is stranger, more complex, and far more brilliant than any simple code. The final secret is not a translation. It's a revelation about the true purpose of the most mysterious book in history.
The Grand Revelation. The first layer of the solution comes from artificial intelligence. In 2017, researchers at the University of Alberta used a powerful AI to analyze the text. The AI concluded, with high confidence, that the underlying language of the text is most likely encoded Hebrew. It even proposed that the first sentence, using a complex algorithmic anagram, translates to, "She made recommendations to the priest, man of the house, and me and people." This was a bombshell. But it wasn't a complete solution. The rest of the translation was garbled, and it didn't explain the plants or the cosmology. It was another tantalizing clue, but not the full key. The true revelation is that there is no single key. The manuscript is a masterpiece of steganography, the art of hiding a message in plain sight. It has multiple layers of deception. Layer 1, the null cipher. The flowing script, the text that follows Zipf's law, is a brilliant distraction. It was created using a device known as a Cardin grill, or a similar template system, which allows a user to generate plausible-looking gibberish based on a real language, in this case, likely a dialect of Hebrew or a related Semitic language. This is why it has linguistic properties, but remains untranslatable. Its entire purpose is to look like a secret code, to attract the attention of the world's cryptographers and send them on a wild goose chase for a century. The real message isn't in the text. Layer 2, the true data. So where is the information? It's in the illustrations. The plants, the stars, the bathing women. This is where a second line of modern research comes into play. Botanists, ignoring the text, have recently started identifying some of the impossible plants. Not as chimeras, but as stylized, slightly inaccurate drawings of real-world plants from the New World. One plant strongly resembles a species of viola native to Mexico. Another looks like the soap plant, also from the Americas. But this is impossible. The manuscript was made between 1404 and 1438. Columbus would not sail for another 50 years. This single fact, if true, would be one of the most paradigm-shattering discoveries in history. It would be hard evidence of pre-Columbian transatlantic contact. This is the true secret the book was designed to protect. The author or authors were part of a group that possessed world-changing knowledge, the location of an entire continent unknown to Europe. This knowledge was incredibly dangerous. In the era of the Inquisition, any information that challenged the church-approved view of the world was heresy, punishable by death. The manuscript was their hard drive, their encrypted backup. The botanical section is a catalog of useful, medicinal, and psychoactive plants from this new world. The astronomical section isn't a map of the night sky, but a navigational guide, using unique star patterns visible from specific latitudes during an Atlantic crossing. The bizarre balneological section?
Scholars now theorize it is not about bathing, but is a metaphorical depiction of human reproduction, gynecology, and contraception, knowledge that was brutally suppressed in 15th century Europe, especially if held by women. The book is a survival guide, a compendium of forbidden knowledge, geographical, botanical, and medical, hidden inside the most ingenious security system ever devised, a puzzle box of mutually reinforcing mysteries.
The profound conclusion. So, who created it? The trail doesn't lead to a single genius like Roger Bacon, but perhaps to a community. The hints of Hebrew, the advanced medical knowledge, especially gynecological, and the Italian origin point towards a fascinating possibility. A group of northern Italian Jews who were known to be highly educated merchants and physicians, with possible trade connections reaching far beyond what mainstream history accepts. They may have learned this knowledge from a lost voyage or even from Viking or Basque sailors who had been making secret trips to the Americas for centuries. Forced to protect their secrets from persecution, they created the ultimate defense. A book that would look like occult nonsense to a suspicious inquisitor, like an unbreakable code to a rival, and like a botanical manual to a layman. They encoded their entire world-changing legacy in a way that it could only be understood if you already held a piece of the key. It wasn't meant to be deciphered, it was meant to be recognized by those who knew what they were looking at. And this brings us to the final, mind-bending thought. The manuscript has resisted us for so long, not just because it is clever, but because we, as a civilization, lost the context. We have spent a century trying to read the words when we should have been looking at the pictures through the eyes of a 15th century navigator and herbalist who had seen a new world. The Voynich Manuscript is more than just an unsolved puzzle. It's a testament to the fact that history is not a settled linear story. It is filled with hidden streams, lost knowledge, and courageous minds who operated in the shadows. It's a ghost that whispers of pre-Columbian voyages, of forgotten science, and of a world far more interconnected than we believe. Perhaps the true purpose of the Voynich Manuscript in the 21st century is not the information it contains, but the lesson it teaches. It forces us to question the limits of our own understanding and to accept that there are secrets in our past we have not even begun to imagine. The book has not been solved because, in a way, we are not yet the people it was written for. It is still waiting. And the biggest question it asks is this: what other impossible knowledge lies dormant, waiting for us to finally ask the right questions?
The world is full of fascinating paradoxes, isn't it? We hope today's facts truly bent your mind. If you're ready for more daily revelations that challenge the norm, subscribe to Mindbenders. Don't forget to ring the bell so you never miss a new video. Until next time, keep questioning.